Have you noticed, for me, I mean, when I'm driving and listening to a podcast, my comprehension rate or the absorption rate of the information is probably not that high just because I get distracted. But when I run and listen to something and when I do cardio or like just work out, I feel like I actually get more information and like can concentrate better on the podcast and like in the topic and in general is
Yeah,
you
I
know.
have noticed that when I'm trying to drive, it's high concentration kind of effort, even though it doesn't seem like it at times, but it is. And when I'm working and I put on a podcast, I pretty much like what was it about? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes because I either focus on like the thing or the podcast. When I run, I don't know. It's different. I think it's better. I don't concentrate on it as much as if I would just watch the podcast. Um,
Yeah.
I also noticed that it kind of sucks to like do cardio with the podcast too, because it's
You need
not
like
super
energetic music.
energetic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
because I would be
It's
watching
helpful.
for the podcast, and I'd be like at the last minutes of my workout, and I'd be like, okay, I need to put in some effort. I just skip the podcast, just turn on some hype music, and like
Yeah.
you burn twice as much calories like if you turn it off pretty much. So podcast is like because I concentrate on it too much with my brain, I guess.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying. Like this, I think last week, I so I try to run every morning as well, and I usually run for like 20 minutes maybe, so like 2 miles. And l- uh, I think one time last week I actually forgot my headphones, my AirPods, and man, it's like a completely different feeling where you're just running like by yourself, like with your own thoughts, without any
Mm.
music. And on the one side, I thought it was actually better because you don't get that like really loud music and like very fast music up in the
Mm-hmm.
morning when you just woke up, and you can hear. I don't know. It's just you're just more calm. It's just more peaceful, I think. But on the other side, your willpower has to be there because you have to push through. 'Cause
Oh
without
yeah,
music, it's really hard to keep going.
yeah. When there's no headphones, you just alone by yourself, pretty much,
Yeah,
kind of with your own thoughts. And if you're doing something hard, it's kind of like gotta push through it, and
exactly.
there's nothing helping you. Yeah. Yeah. I noticed that pretty much everything I do is with the headphones now. I don't know if that's healthy. Probably not
Yeah,
healthy.
yeah. Well, I think it also depends on what level of volume you have on, right?
I'm not talking about like to my ears.
Oh, you mean
I'm
like
talking
brain
about like
fatigue and
brain fatigue, yeah, like dopamine, too much information. I'm constantly trying to squeeze some info every time I do like anything. Like, oh, I'm gonna. But when the truth is, probably in like 99% of the content that I watch or when I read, I probably don't get anything from it. But it kind of feels like I do
yeah.
sometimes. So I don't know if
Yeah, it's like
it's good enough.
how much information do you actually remember and do you absorb as opposed to just skimming through it
Yeah,
and
how much of that you really understand? Because what I also know, I mean, maybe it's useful to have context into things and like, oh, now I think I know something about this and that, and but whenever you come into contact with somebody who really understands it, those people actually do that, not just listen about it. Whenever I do something, I don't know, maybe in programming, let's say, right? And I maybe read about it, maybe I heard about it, maybe like or understand the concept, but until I actually do it, and then I hear like same content, but on the same topic, but now it's like it all makes sense and like clicks.
right.
So I guess until you do something and make it work, um, just listening to content, some of it sticks, some of it may push you to do something, might not benefit you as much as you think it
Right.
does.
Like if you've already done that thing before.
Yeah,
That
to actually comprehend stuff, it's pretty much pointless to listen to whatever Jeff Bezos says if you're just starting business. Because whatever he's talking about, only he and like maybe a
like
thousand
Fortune
other,
500 CEOs and
yeah,
like people who are
will
on boards of those big
benefit
companies.
from. Even, not even all of those Fortune 500, because he's at such a scale that, like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
like yeah, I guess you can't. No, I see what you're
It's
what you're
the
saying.
thing,
Like,
the tweaks that he does, the performance tweaks, the management kind of style that he's doing, and like allocation and the problems that he's talking about, those may be relevant for like I don't know, maybe 1,000 people in the world.
mm,
And then like for you to listen to, maybe Jeff is like a super extreme kind
Case.
of case, yeah, but like Warren Buffett, everybody loves quoting Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett is at such a scale that like, oh, like, do this, I did this, and I made so, I mean,
yeah,
it's
no,
not gonna really help you. It is a good perspective to understand what's his approach to business.
yeah. I guess
Doesn't help you.
I guess it's more about because they've been through, or because they have so much experience in their expertise of field, right? And they can interpret their own words in a different way that you would, or that would
Yeah.
differ from the way you interpret it.
It still makes a lot of sense to listen to him and understand what he's thinking and whatever, but it would make more sense for you to listen to a person who's, first of all, doing what you're doing, and then second of all, who's maybe 1 or 2 steps ahead of you. Warren Buffett is like
1,000 steps away.
1,000 steps
Mm.
ahead of me, and he's like 1,000 years older than me. I mean, he's also has that life experience, and he's seen like millions of people in his life.
Yeah.
Whatever he talks about is not gonna really tangibly help you. Still good to listen, but
Yeah.
Mm.
No, I think you're right. And for example, in entrepreneurship, like it's good to hear. Let's say you are starting an early stage company, or running an early stage company, and you've raised some, initial funding. For you to listen to like a publicly traded company CEO is probably not going to be as helpful as a company or a CEO that have just raised, let's say, Series A, and you're at seed level, right? Because he can show you what steps he took to get to the next level,
yeah,
or Series B instead of Series A. And yeah, I guess in this case, the applicability of his advice and suggestions would be way, way better as opposed to like of someone who's, as you said, 1,000 steps ahead of you. Like on this note, if we're saying that listen to people who are, or get an advice from people who are maybe not so far ahead of you,
yeah,
right? Maybe just try to get someone who is at the level where you want to be in, let's say, like a year or two, and then learn those like incremental steps from them, and because this is going to be the most valuable information.